Okay, so everyone covering the Grammys right now is telling you the exact same thing. It's Olivia Rodrigo versus Olivia Dean. Two Olivias, one trophy, pick a side. I don't think that's the race. I think they're both lose, and the name that actually wins isn't even in most people's top five right now. It's Madonna.
I know how that sounds. Give me 9 minutes and I'll show you exactly why.
Real quick, for anyone new here, I don't do gut feeling predictions. Every album gets scored on the stuff that actually matters: streams, chart performance, songwriting, production, how strong the singles were. Then I stack that against how the Grammys have actually voted historically. Because, and this is important, the Academy does not vote like a critic and it doesn't vote like a chart, it votes like its own weird animal. Before I get into the real fight, a quick respect lab. This is a genuinely stacked year, and every single one of these was somebody's favorite album of 2026. Swifties, I see you, and I know this one circled back, becoming the first album to occupy the entire top 12 of the Billboard 100 at once. That's genuinely unprecedented, but the review split hard this time. Even critics who are usually in her corner called some of the lyrics weak, and she's already won this 4 times, not a snob, just not higher. Honest confession, Mars was my spoiler pick a few months back, and there's a real case for him. He's a 16-time Grammy winner. His album topped the Billboard 200, and he's got two prior Album of the Year nomination that came up empty. That's exactly the It's His Turn energy that finally got Beyonce her win. But his 66 on Metacritic is the lowest of anyone in serious contention. Impeccably crafted, sure, but also risk averse. Critics said he leans on well-worn romantic cliches instead of saying anything new. His whole part only worked if he was the only veteran in this race. He's not anymore. We'll get into that in a minute. Already has one of these from 2023, and critics genuinely can't argue on this album. Bold reinvention for some, muted and kind of empty for others. You don't want to win on a spit like that. 86 on Metacritic, called our funniest writing in a decade, and honestly, it might be the most purely well-written album on this whole list, but it never crossed over commercially, and great reviews alone tend to get you nominee, not winner. Choosing Texas spent 13 weeks at number one, that's history, not just a hit. But country crossover albums show up in this category all the time and almost never actually win it, and Ella hasn't built the track record to break that pattern yet. It's 7 on Metacritic. Real critical love for how ambitious this thing is. Her ceiling right now is just name recognition with the broader American voting body. Real fan base, real heart in this one, but people who love it admit the back half of the 17 track kind of blurs together. A little repetitive, keeps you a nominee, not a winner. 7 strong albums, none of them winning. Now let's get to who actually is. Here's where everyone stops paying attention to the writing. You seem pretty sad for a girl so in love. Got the 89 Metacritic, the biggest debut sales of the year in the US, and the real Sonic left on. New wave, college rock, she even brought in Robert Smith from The Cure. Every outlet I checked has her top 2, no exceptions. Dean is a different case. She's winning on story, fresh off Best New Artist, riding a 46-week chart run on The Man I Need. This is the exact narrative the Grammys have fallen for before. Eilish, Adele, Winehouse, all versions of the same story. Here's the problem though. These two are fighting over the same voter. Both women, both under 30, both critically strong pop records with an artistic growth arc, getting pushed as 1 and 1A by every prediction outlet out there. And when two candidates split one identical lane of support, those votes don't just disappear, they go somewhere else. So where did they go? Not where you guess. Let's be honest where this album ranks on pure quality first. An 83 on Metacritic. Genuinely our strongest notices in 20 years. With critics calling Confessions 2 a non-stop career-based dance record. It's projected to debut at number one, outselling both Rodrigo and Langley in first week numbers. Because Madonna has 7 Grammys, but her last Album of the Year nomination was 2010, 16 years for someone at her level. That's exactly the kind of overdue story that tends to end with her name being called. And here's the part that actually matters historically. The Grammys have a real pattern of surprising the room with a veteran over the popular favorite. Herbie Hancock's River, the Johnny Letters beating Kanye West and Amy Winehouse in 2008 is a textbook version of this. An older respected artist getting rewarded specifically because the popular favorite split the room's attention. The older core of Academy voters loves the give the legend her flowers moment way more than prediction models ever account for. And here's the part nobody's saying out loud yet. While everyone's locked into arguing Rodrigo versus Dean, Madonna is quietly checking every box. Cultural dominance, a veteran profile, an audience that isn't emotionally invested in either side of the Olivia versus Olivia fight, except her critical reviews are 20 points higher and her overdue narrative runs 16 years deep instead of two lost nominations. That is exactly how upset happens at the show. On pure quality, Lux might be the best album in this field. 95 on Metacritic, London Symphony Orchestra, 13 languages. Nothing else nominated is this ambitious, production wise. The Grammys have rewarded exactly this kind of album twice in the last 2 years. Beyonce's Cowboy Carter, then Bad Bunny's DTMF, the first non English album to ever win in this category. If that's a real trend and not a coincidence, Lux is the peak. Full stop. But I don't think it's a trend yet. I think it's two data points that had narrative weight that Lux just doesn't have. Beyonce had four prior snub fans were genuinely angry about. Bad Bunny had an entire cultural movement behind him. Lux has the acclaim and the chart history. Five simultaneous number one debuts, which is insane. But she doesn't have that same overdue outreach carrying her. An incredible album, but probably not this year's winner. Okay, let's rapid fire this because here's exactly where I land. Should win, no contest. Rosalia's Lux. Everyone's top pick. Olivia Rodrigo. The one with the best story. Olivia Dean. The one who actually wins. Madonna Confessions 2. Because Rodrigo and Dean cancelled out each other fighting over the same lane, and while everyone's watching that fight, Madonna is quietly checking every box the Academy has rewarded. If I'm wrong, it's Rodrigo, not Dean, that takes it. Her consensus is just stronger, and that survives the split better than the narrative does. So that's the call. The front runner splits the vote. The best album probably doesn't win, and Madonna is holding the trophy in February. Tell me I'm wrong. Am I overreacting a comeback story, or is Madonna actually the real story of this Grammy season? Drop your pick below, and nominations land in November, so we won't be waiting long to find out who called it.